Hi everyone, my name is Danielle. I work as an art instructor for the Dixon Gallery and Gardens. Today I will be leading you through an art activity from my home studio. And the activity today is something I like to call a self-portrait or a happiness self-portrait. This is what your portrait might look like. This is a example of one of these I created in the past. You can tell when I made this I had a little different haircut than I do now, but you can continue to make this project over and over again and get different results each time.
The first thing you will need for this project is a scrap sheet of paper to create a list of 7 things in your life that bring you great joy. Now this list, don't think too hard about it. Whatever pops into your mind, think of things that make you happy or people that make you happy. Make sure you just have 7 total. And they can be something silly. You probably saw I just wrote the word cartoons. They do not have to be serious things. If they're important to you, they are important enough for this list. Once you have all 7 items written on your list, the next thing to do is decide what material you would like to use today. You can use markers, color pencils, crayons, anything that you would like to create art with. For my example, I will be using watercolor pencils. So once you have that material decided, choose 7 colors to work with. Once you have those 7 colors picked out, decide how you are going to match them with your words. Once your list is complete, you are ready to start the portrait. So get out a larger sheet of paper and get back out that pencil to draw out a simple silhouette shape. This is the trickiest step for the day, but don't stress yourself out about it. I have people who think they aren't artists who tell me all the time that all they can draw is a stick figure. Well, this is just a stick figure with a couple extra lines. If you look at mine, see my shoulders are kind of uneven and the head's a little lopsided, but that's okay. You just keep rolling with it and move on to the next step. Now the next step is to apply those colors that we came up with earlier to our silhouette. The purpose of this project, the reason why we apply these colors that we have matched with something important in our life, is to put ourselves in a reflective state. So we're taking time to really meditate and think about why these people and why these items are important to us. And it helps you have a greater sense of gratitude. And increasing your gratitude increases your happiness. This is why we call it the Happiness Self-Portrait. For some insight in how I'm filling out my portrait, in the center, the circles represent all the people that are on my list, because I wanted to have them close to my heart. The blue at my feet represents Memphis, because I love taking walks around the city, along the river and maybe down Main Street. For cartoons and podcasts, I have that near my ears and my eyes, because obviously you're going to be watching and listening. And then once I started using green, that represented outside for me. And I love to touch things outside. I love that texture of leaves and flowers. If you watched Mr. JT's video last week, he talked about that gentle touch, and that's something that I really enjoy. And then I just continue to work on from there. And as I said before, yours may be completely different from mine. Actually, it most likely will be. And that's exactly how it should be. Since I created my portrait today using watercolor pencils, I went back with a paintbrush and just a cup full of water to smooth things out, turn it into a little more of a painting. This gave it a more finished look that I really like. Another thing I enjoyed about using watercolors for this project is that inevitably some of those colors are going to run together a bit, which I think is really nice for this particular art activity. Because that's the same thing that happens in life, right? All of these things that bring us joy kind of collide together and enhance each other, make our lives better. For a little extra detail, I decided to use a Sharpie to outline my finished product. You don't have to do this step if you want to, it's just a little extra. You could even cut out your silhouette and make your own paper doll of yourself if you wanted to try something different. Another option might be to cut it out and glue it onto a fun patterned paper. So there are lots of different ways to expand upon this if you're interested.
That is all for our art activity today. Here's my final product. This is a fun one to do over and over again. Anytime that you're maybe feeling a little bit down or just having a rough time, this is a really fun art activity to kind of bring you back to center and just help you feel that joy again. If you decide to make one of these activities, please let us know when you post it to your social media. Tag us with the hashtag DixonAtHome. I would love to see your creations. And thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.